Hey art world, what's up? It's me, Ren. I'm an artist. So in today's video, I'm going to take you inside my home art studio. I'm going to show you where I make art, sketch in my sketchbook, and do all the things. So if that's something that interests you, just keep on watching. First, I want to show you my Alex drawers. You've probably seen this in many artist studios. It's very popular. It's from IKEA, and I keep it mostly over here by this open window because that's the only window in the studio. It's where I get light, and when I want to set up over here and paint or sketch, this is where my Alex drawers go. It's on wheels, so I do move it around. I'm gonna show you. Sometimes I move it right over there where that stool is right now, just for a change of scenery. That's one of the reasons why I love it, because it is mobile, it's on wheels. So I initially wanted one of those flat files, those huge flat files where you can store lots of large pieces of artwork. As you see, I have a watercolor block here that's 16 by 20, and I have larger sheets of watercolor paper and larger blocks of paper, and I wanted to be able to store them, but those are very expensive. So Alex drawers it is. All right, let's open it up. So in the first drawer, I have mostly paints, a lot of paints, gouache paints. I keep them in here. I have a few oil paints that I want to try. I've never painted in oil, but I wanted to try some oil paints. I haven't tried them yet, but I will at some point. But I keep mostly my acrylic gouache here, my Holbein acrylic gouache. I love this stuff. I have another bowl that I keep it in. That's why it's so sparse right now. Usually it's filled to the brim. But yeah, I have some watercolor paints over here. I love these organizer bins. I got these from IKEA as well. So I can easily move these over. And this one here, I have small measuring tape, because you never know when you gotta measure something. I have my travel watercolor pen that you can open up and put water inside. Let me try to do this with one hand. You can screw this off, put water in here, put this back on. Let's get the top. This is not easy to do with one hand. Okay. I have a paper cutter, a paper knife. You know what I mean. It's very sharp here. I have a few Pigma. Actually, this is the Derwent fine liner, but I have some Pigma Micron pens also in here. I have a few white Drizzle pens. I have a white charcoal pencil in here. So right here is where I keep my pencils. I use these Tombow graphite pencils. I have a bunch of these back here. So this is mostly my pencil drawer. I have my pencils, my Blackwing pencils. I don't know if this will focus. That I use for sketching. I have some kneadable erasers here. And other things. This is mostly my sketching container. I have my blending stumps. A few Q-tips. You see, these have already been used for blending out the graphite. Some erasers. I love these erasers, by the way, because you have a very precise tip when you want to do detail work. These are great. This is Tombow, yeah. And some refills here of those erasers. I think I have some not electric. Did I say electric? Mechanical. Mechanical pencils somewhere, I think. Because I have a lot of the lead here. So these are, yeah, there you go. These are my Mozart mechanical pencils. Love these. I believe I picked these up on Amazon. Pretty cool. And you can just shift these back over. Right? Stays nice and organized. Over here I have my binder clips. I have a few of these. I love all the different colors. The gold. I have some pastels in here. Here I have some washi tape. I don't know how this got in here. And some paper clips at the bottom. And here on the side I have a few liquid watercolors like my Easel line, which I haven't used in a bit. I have this Dr. P.H. Martin's concentrated watercolor in moss green. And let me tell you, when it says concentrated, they mean it, because this is a very, very vibrant color. Oh, okay. So back here I have a small brush cleaner, the Masters brush cleaner that I use to clean my brushes. I have a larger one that I'll show you in a minute, but here's a small one. I don't even know if this has anything inside. Oh, it does. It's very old, as you can see. But you can just add a little water, clean your brushes, and this will come right back to life. I love this soap. It's a great cleaner for your brushes. Kind of hard to do this with one hand. Alright. So here are some water dropper bottles. I reused these bottles. These are probably old skincare bottles, I think. I think this is definitely an old skincare bottle, because I see the old glue from the label that I keep water in if I need to re-wet some of my watercolor palettes. And here's another water dropper here. And here, these are empty containers. I don't remember what was in here previously, but I save these to just sometimes if I'm working with my liquid watercolors or liquid inks, I will use these containers. In this one, I believe, though, I have some alcohol, some rubbing alcohol. I believe I was trying to do an effect on watercolor paper, so I have that stored in here. Yeah, these are all empty. And I believe this one I mixed some paint inside here. I don't even know if this is still active. It should be. But yeah. First drawer is where I keep mostly my paints, pencils, washi tape, binder clips. In the second drawer here, I have, this is a fairly new purchase, this LED tracing board. I like it. It's very lightweight and thin, very, this would be good if you want to travel or take this with you, although you would need a plug because this is a USB for the light to work. It's a USB LED light, but this is great. I love this. I have some rubber bands here, some extra gloves when I'm working sometimes with certain mediums and I don't want to get my hands messy. Here I have, I guess this, you would call this my craft drawer too, because when I'm not painting or sketching or doing other things, I like to do some crafty things. Like I have my Sculpey clay here. These are ones that I've used previously and I'm trying to preserve them, so I put them in the Ziploc bag. I have a lot of craft paint here. I use these paints like when I want to repaint some frames, some wooden frames, if I don't like the color, or if I'm just playing around in my sketchbook and wanting to do different effects, or if I'm doing projects around the house, I like to use these paints. I like how they dry down, the matte acrylic ones. These dry down really, really matte. I love them. What's good, I remember trying this in my sketchbook too, where I put this matte acrylic paint down. I believe it was this color, and then I used a white charcoal pencil on top, and I love that effect as well. And here I have some of my Sculpey adhesives, some glue, rolling pins, and other things for my clay when I want to make clay items. I've made a few things like dishes, not like a whole dish, but like a small, what do you call that, like a trinket dish. And I also made one to keep little pins, and I'll show you that in a second as well. So that's drawer number 2. So in this drawer, I have my Derwent light fast pencils, and I have, actually this belongs in there too, my Derwent watercolor pencils. Between these two, I use the watercolor pencils a lot. I really enjoy using this set of watercolor pencils here. This is a set of 24. Love these. Here are the light fast ones. I really got to get into this one. I don't use it as much. Oh, here, oh, let me put you guys down so you can see. But here, I love these. This is like, I say, some of my secret art projects. I don't mean that seriously, but I love to secretly doodle. Like make kids doodles. I love these. These are so much fun. So I don't know if you can see it well because I made this on printer paper. Look at this. Oh, love this. These are just fun little projects that I like to do when I'm bored, or sometimes when I don't want to put too much thoughts. And I'm not saying that this, you don't have to think about it, because I definitely do come up with a theme for each doodle page that I do. Look at that. This is like a city theme. Love this one. This one. And here I was just starting this one but never finished it. So yeah, I keep those tucked away. I should really film that for you guys so you can see me doodling. In here, in this drawer, I keep also my larger sketchbooks and papers. Here is my Canson, I believe, yep. This is my Canson watercolor book. And I've said this before, I like to use watercolor paper, especially cold pressed watercolor paper, as sketch pads to sketch on because I love the tooth of the paper. I have some more watercolor paper. I haven't used this yet, but I use this mostly if I want to do small projects or color swatching or just small things. I like to keep a more inexpensive pad of watercolor paper. I have another sketch pad here. I don't think I've even, oh, I have started using this. I didn't even know. Ooh. Oh yeah, I think I got this for doodling also. I didn't even remember that I had this. But this paper is pretty thin though. Yeah, now I remember because you can see the whole thing on the back of the paper. But this is really good. Love this. Love this for me. Oh yeah, and I started another one here. I gotta continue with this. Oh yeah, so I took a sheet from this watercolor pad to put behind here so that Sharpie, because when I doodle I use mostly Sharpies, and you know Sharpies bleed, so I didn't want it to bleed through to the other side. Now I remember. Yeah, so here you go, my sketch pad. And this organizer container, I believe I got this one from Target, and I keep scrap paper in here. I really, you know, one of the things about being an artist and working on paper is that you, oh, I think my battery's dying. So I had to go get a new camera because my battery died. So, okay, where was I? I was showing you this drawer with my scrap papers. Yeah, I was saying one thing about being an artist, you guys, and working on papers, that you use a lot of it. You use a lot of paper, and sometimes, you know, thinking about the environment and all of that, I like to save my scrap papers. For instance, like if I'm doing a practice piece or a piece that I don't like, or just playing around and there are pieces of paper that are left over, I will literally cut around the piece, or cut pieces of paper and reuse them for color swatching and for other things, because I don't know, I just don't feel right about throwing out all that unused paper. So that's what I have this bin here for. Here I have some artist tape. Here I have some Daniel Smith watercolor ground. I think I used it once or twice when I wanted to use watercolor on some other surfaces, sort of like gesso in a way, to just prepare your surface for the medium that you're using. Here I have my travel watercolor cup. It's expandable, and then you can just press it down. I should get another one of these because when I paint, I usually have two containers, one for my cools and one for my warms, or one for my lighter colors and one for mixing just green. That's what I'll usually do. Here in this bin, I have some color swatches and little things that I've painted, like this pansy, which I love. I love how this came out. I just love how the blue blended into the lilac color. Ugh. Here are some color swatches that I did. I believe I have these in one of my Days in My Art Studio video, these color swatches, which are great. I love how these colors, these are earthy colors. Love this. And I have lots of little color swatches in here. My color wheel is here. So this is my color swatching bin. Oh, over here I have some new Holbein pastel watercolors that I did color swatch these, I believe, on video as well. But I have not really painted seriously with them yet. So that goes here. I have some more oil paints that I want to try here. These are water-soluble oils though. Ooh. With the linseed oil, the little bottle of linseed oil on the side. Yeah, so we're gonna get into some different mediums here pretty soon. All right, so that's drawer number 3. And this drawer here, I got my watercolor blocks here in different sizes, 8 by 10. This is hot pressed. We have a block of cold press here. This is the Arches brand cold press 100% cotton watercolor block. Let's see, is there anything on here? Let me see. Because sometimes I just practice things and I leave them and I forget about them. No. Oh, I think this is where I was practicing. Remember I told you I keep alcohol in here? Up in this drawer. When I was practicing doing some effects with black and the alcohol, like a blooming effect. I was trying that out here. That is the effect that it gave me, this blooming effect, which is pretty cool. And yeah, different sizes of watercolor blocks that I keep in this drawer as well. See, this is what I mean. For instance, on this sheet, since I've already been practicing basically on this paper, what I'll do is cut out all this extra and save this. That's why I still have this here. Save the unused portion for scrap paper, basically. So here I have some watercolor, right? These are Art Philosophy watercolor paints. These are more so to make different skin tones. And I love this palette as well. I haven't used these pans in a while. These are great for travel, and if you're a beginner and you just want a set, you don't want to think about what colors to get, these are great. Here's another set of Daniel Smith watercolors. Here are some of the colors that it came with, but I think I also added some extra pans in here, because here I have some extra half pans, or I don't know if these are half or whole pans of watercolor containers. Lots of great colors. Daniel Smith makes great, I love this brand of watercolor. Some of the colors that I love from Daniel Smith are Moon Glow, and they have a great lavender and wisteria. Beautiful, beautiful. I love this wisteria color. So I keep that here. I have some linen tape. I use this to mount my work when I'm framing. And here is my Munio sets of watercolors. Yeah, I love this set also. Comes with lots of colors. And here's the color swatch that I did. So I know how they look on paper, which is a great practice. And you get your watercolors, swatch them out, write the name, the number, a good reference. And also because it's pretty. So let's put this all back. In this drawer, what is this? The 5th drawer? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here I have some towels for blotting. I don't like to use paper towel because I think that's wasteful. So I use these cloths to dry my brushes, to blot out extra paint. I love these. These are very absorbent, and I think I got these from Target. I don't know. I believe these are a blend of linen or maybe 100% cotton. I love these ones in particular. But yeah, they're 100% cotton. 100% cotton, and I can never find these particular towels again. They don't shed a lot, you know, they don't leave a lot of lint, and they're very soft and they absorb water really well. Keep a lot of my towels down here. Sometimes I'll use tea towels. Here's some more extra paper. These I'll use more so for styling. When I say styling, I mean taking photographs of my art. I have these here with different moments that I've written things on, like poetry. I love to write poetry as well. This is a bag of memories, basically paper memories. This is when I released my second collection of watercolor prints that you can find on my website. Here are more things that I'll use for styling my art. Here I have a handmade an embroidery ring, which I started. I didn't finish yet. I have more paper, like for making cards. These are great for making cards. And here I have some other packaging things and other bits in this drawer. Here is the last drawer, and in this drawer, just a lot of odds and ends, extra bags, because my studio is upstairs, a loft area, like a flat loft area. So I often have to transport things up and down, so I have extra bags here. Here I have a little palette and a plate. Guys, if you don't want to spend money on palettes, but a plate works just as good. So I have a few of these, and these are good if you want to do a lot of mixing, if you're doing some plates that I picked up from Target. And I have a bigger one here at the bottom. This is more like a platter. And let's close that up. So that is what's in my Alex drawers, basically. So I just showed you what's in my Alex drawers, and I keep that mostly over here by this large window, because that's the only window, as you can see, in my studio. I mean, it's a large window. It would be nice to have just one more. If you shift to the left is where I do most of my artwork. It's this large surface here, which I'll tell you a secret. This is actually 2 desks that I put together to make one large surface. I realized pretty quickly that working on one desk, I'll show you. I'll lift up this cloth. It's actually 2 desks that I put together back to back to make one large surface area, because just working on one of these, which is about 40 inches in width, was not big enough for me. As you can see here, this is my 16 by 20 watercolor block, and that alone, so much space. So if I have a paint palette, and I have brushes, and I have maybe a reference book, and I have other things, it was just, I realized that very quickly that I needed a large space. So I had 2 of these desks side by side, one here and one there. I decided to put them back to back to make one large working surface. And I cover it with this tablecloth here that I picked up from Amazon, and a nice green to, you know, give it a little flavor. Over here, I have this riser. This is really a kitchen item. It's a marble riser that I picked up from Target, and I put my fan here because I get hot all the time when I'm working, because I'm moving around quickly and doing lots of things. So I have my small fan here. This I use to peel the paper from the watercolor blocks. For instance, I'll give you a peek of something I'm working on. If I want to separate this paper off of the block, I'll just slide this in here and go all the way around, and this separates the sheet of paper off of the watercolor block. Under here I keep a few more trinkets that I use for paint palettes. Basically, I have a small paint palette here, these 2 dishes that I use as paint palettes. Like I say, if you want to start off and you need a surface to mix your paints, dishes work just fine. So, and I have a few paint palettes that I've picked up from Etsy shops. You'll notice that I have a lot of circular palettes. I have a thing for circles. I guess it's because I'm an artist, I don't know, but I love circular things. If you give me a square and a circle, one of these, like a paint palette side by side, more than often I will choose a circle. So I keep these tucked under here. Here, right next to it, I'll usually keep some of my watercolor brushes. Here is a small vase. I picked this up off Amazon as well, and I keep most of the brushes that I use pretty much all the time. A few rulers, some scissors. Here's another container with brushes. These brushes I just washed. Some of them are still wet. One thing that you'll notice about me is that I love pretty little vases and pretty containers. A part of having an inspiring workspace is to surround yourself with the things that make you happy, the things that make you feel good. If it's something small and beautiful, if it's plants, if it's little trinkets, and all the things that I think inspire you to work, because you're not always going to feel like working on your art. Those are the times that you seek out other sources of inspiration or things that will push you forward. And sometimes for me, that can be, for instance, this small vase, which I did a sketch of actually in my sketchbook one day when I didn't know what to sketch. I said, oh, let me just sketch this. It's right here on my table. So these are some flowers, some roses that have dried out, and I saved them. And they've lasted a pretty long time. They're beautiful. They've dried down into this purpley mauve color. I love this. Keep yourself inspired in your studio space. It's very important. We can move over here. And I have another one of these marble risers. So I have one there and here. This is a fairly new idea because I'm always drinking tea when I'm working. I'm a coffee and a tea drinker, but when I am making art and working in my studio, I love to drink tea. Something about it, I don't know if it calms me. I grew up drinking tea. I am from the Caribbean, so tea is a big part of my culture. For me, it's something that reminds me of growing up in my childhood, so I made a little tea station. So I'll take you through the things that I have. So I have this electric tea kettle that I picked up from Walmart. It's like an off-white with gold or bronze, and I love it. To sweeten my tea, I love to use agave, so I picked up this small bottle. I love it because of the shape. It looks like a potion bottle, and I picked this up from Michael's. Harney and Sons chamomile tea. I put a few bags of green tea. In the future, what I would love to do is put something here on the wall that I can have maybe my tea mugs or more tea, like a collection of tea. So underneath this marble riser, I have this ceramic egg container that I also use as a paint palette. I use this more if I'm using more of a liquid consistency or my liquid inks. I need something with a deeper well. You can see that it's been well used and well loved. I'll keep this tucked under here when I'm not using it. So if you move over here, this is a newer addition to my studio space. I put this desk together in another video, and I got this desk from Wayfair, and it's great. It's affordable and it fit the space perfectly. In this space, what I had in mind initially was to put a cabinet in this area, but all the cabinets that I was looking at the time was just way too expensive, so I opted instead for shelves. So here's a shelf. I plan to put another shelf here up top where I'll store probably books and other things that I don't reach for a lot. But I was gonna put another shelf here, but I thought that this would be another good workspace, like a little nook in the corner. I love me a little nook. I have this lamp here. It's a small clip-on lamp. I love it. On top, I'll keep my paintbrushes. I have an array of paintbrushes. This is what I mean when I was saying that I like to do craft projects. This is a pot, a plant pot that I got. I believe this was a gift and it had a plant in it, but it was a white color, and I didn't want just a plain white vase, so I painted this with one of my Craft Smart craft paints. And now I use it to store my colored pencils and some of my Posca markers. I have a small container with some Faber-Castell brush pens and another empty one that I can fill when I get more supplies. Another plant pot that I usually have markers in, which I don't know where my markers are, but we'll get those in a second. And here up top above, I have some of my practice sketchbook work that I keep for inspiration. And here off to the side, you've seen me work in this a ton of times. This is my sketchbook that I keep in like a book easel. And I picked this up from World Market. So above that on this shelf, I have a few things. I have this lights, overhead lights. That is actually a phone clamp that I can film from. I have another clamp here that I can attach a camera to and film from. I forgot to point out these dried flowers. I love dried flowers, and I keep this dried rose, and I believe were these carnations? Yeah. Here is another practice sketchbook work that I have in a video. So let's get back to the shelf. Like I said, I have this light. I have some more practice work back here. Here I have some of my stickers. This one you saw on my sketchbook, and another one here. These are some of my digital work that I'm turning into stickers, and I'll have more available soon. And let me show you. This is one of my trinket dishes that I made with Sculpey clay, which I am very proud of. I love it. I love the colors. This dark maroon and this lighter lavender color. And I keep that on my shelf. Here I have some more dried roses. I have this print available on my website. And I have another practice. This is pretty cute. I like this. This is a small oval canvas. And I painted it olive and did some flowers on it, and I love it. Pretty cute. So yeah, there is my shelf. Like I said, I want to put another shelf up here that I'll use more for storing books. So yeah, this is my little cozy nook. Cozy artist nook. Oh, I forgot to mention, here is a small wooden bowl that I keep my pencil shavings in. And my candle. I can't forget about my candle. I have another dish here that I'll use as a palette, but this is a mercury glass candle, like a Christmas candle, but I love this thing. It burns so pretty when I light it up. And one thing about me, I'm always gonna light a candle. Every time I'm working, I gotta have the vibe going. I gotta have a candle burning, you know, the scent, the flowers, the dried flowers, the art inspiration. You just gotta create the vibes that you want to see and be inspired from in your studio. So over here, I don't know if you can see because of the light reflecting, these are some of my finished artworks. This, you remember I showed you the sticker of also, this is the larger piece that the sticker is referenced from. Here is another painting that I did. Here are some tulips. And here, this is an azalea bush, I believe. My plan is, I'll show you one tucked behind here. This is a frame that I also painted with that Craftsmart acrylic, matte acrylic paint. And I have another painting there. My plan in the future, like I said, is to make a gallery wall here. I hung these three up to start with, but I really want to have this whole wall full of art. Here are all my other paints that I was showing you in the Alex drawers, acrylic gouache. I have this marble bowl. I just keep it here for my paints. And this is a stool that I have from IKEA. And this container here, this is actually a candle, a used candle container that I cleaned out and I used to store pencils, my colored pencils. And where are my colored pencils? Oh, over here. I forgot to show you On top of my Alex drawers, I keep my desktop easel that I picked up from Amazon. And in the back, here are my colored pencils and my markers. So we will put these in their rightful place in just a minute. I wanted to show you my desktop easel. Like I said, this is like a box sketching easel. You can fold this down, you can put supplies in the back and take this with you on the go. It's pretty lightweight and great for traveling. I took this with me to an art show once and it was really handy. In the back I keep some extra cloths and baby wipes. This is a container that I got from IKEA, and this I also go up and down the stairs with. And I keep my extra water in these mason jars. Another brush cleaner. This one is larger and it's good for swirling my brushes around in. I showed you I have a smaller one inside the Alex drawers. This is the larger one. I keep some extra sponges, which I use to clean my paint palettes. I use this silicone sponge and a toothbrush sometimes to clean my paint brushes to get some of the paint out. Over here in this corner is a chair and I'll sit at and just, you know, get my thoughts together. It's like my chilling corner. I'll read a lot here also and drink tea or coffee. I have some more art books that I keep on top of this bench. This bench is also from IKEA. I believe the name is Kordsno. I can't pronounce it. You know, IKEA has those Swedish names for their furniture. I think it's Kornsno. Kornsjo. And this is great. This is a storage bench. This is one of the first things I got for storage in my studio. And I keep some of my old work in here and a lot of my varnishes, my spray varnishes. And this should not be up here. This is actually a coffee grinder. More spray varnishes here. And a lot of my, sorry for the noise, a lot more practice and old work is in here. I have some oil sticks over here in the corner. I don't use these as much, but when I do, I love to use them. This is where those gloves come in handy, the gloves that I showed you in the Alex drawers. Yeah, because these can get pretty messy. And here, this little trinket dish, I made this also with Sculpey clay. And it's sort of in a star shape. And I keep these paper clips here. I have a few crystals and another dried rose that I just can't seem to get rid of because I just love the shape of it. It dried so beautifully and it's so delicate and beautiful. There's a book that I have I wanted to show you if you love dried flowers. It's called Modern Dried Flowers. It's a great book to learn about drying flowers and making different dried flower arrangements. It's beautiful. I believe this is the author of the book. It's great to keep books around. I love art books to keep you inspired and also to learn a lot about how different artists make their work. I'll make another video at some point showing you my favorite art books. In the back I have some artwork that my son made for me and a little vase with some more dried, I believe these are dried carnations as well. this back wall, I have two mirrors, circular mirrors here, some more dried roses. You see this wall is green paint and this is pink. I thought this would be a great backdrop because green and pink are some of the colors you find in nature, basically in flowers. So I thought those colors would be a great backdrop. Okay, so it's a lot later in the day and I don't remember where I was, where we left off in our studio tour. Oh, there is a big old bug outside my window. It's actually kind of gross. So I think I left off talking about the paint on the walls, I believe. So I wanted to show you again the paint color that's on the walls. Let me turn on the light. This color here, if you could see, is a green color. It's Farrow & Ball. Well, it would be nice if I knew the name. I know this color for sure. The pink color here is Farrow & Ball Sulking Room Pink, which is a very grown-up pink. It's girly, but not too bubblegum pop girly. Oh, I didn't talk to you about this basket here. Inside is where I house my printers. Down there I have my standard regular printer along with my scanner, but I'm not going to pick that up right now to show you. And I also have a product scale back there. Over here, squeeze in between these two, the basket and this bench, I have some little easels here, sort of like those easels you see in paint and sips. I used this in an art market, an art show that I participated in, just to display some of my prints. Over here I have a wall basket that I use to put my little tea lights in for my candles, because you know I'm a candle girl. I have an electric lighter and some more dried roses. I have these string lights here, these fairy lights, but they are battery powered and there are no batteries, so there's that. So over here in this section, this is more of my techie working section. Laptop, keyboard, some tripods, microphone. Here I have a few notebooks. Okay, that fell. My planner and other notebooks that I keep things in. Since this fell, I might as well take you under here. I have a little heater here that I use to warm my toes when it's cold. Some pillows under here. When I'm sitting here editing for hours, I can put my feet up. Another little stool. A stand where I put my phone. Sometimes I watch videos here while I'm editing. This stand is from IKEA. This desk, by the way, is from IKEA also. Lights, which is really a phone stand, but I use it for the light purposes. I have my iPad and a book. This is the Midnight Library that I have not finished yet, but I will someday, soon, hopefully. Some hand sanitizer here. Over here is where I keep like hand creams, a little lip gloss, some pens, some water and cough drops when my throat gets parched from talking. And that's it. So I hope you enjoyed my studio tour, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.